to be hosting of its annual General Conference, AGC, in the state. The AGC, to be held from August 22 to 28, was originally built for Port Harcourt, the Rivers capital. The association later chose Enugu as the host city in protest against the declaration of emergency in the oil-rich state. Obviously, this is it's just like we have a former, don't let me say, the then administration of the suspended governor gave out 300 million naira to the NBA. Now, the federal government declared a state of emergency on the state. The NBA is protesting against that state of emergency and decide to take their annual general conference away from the state to another state. Now, the sole administrator of the state is now saying, okay, since you guys are no longer hosting your conference in this state, refund the money that was given to you by the then administration of the suspended governor. Now, the question is, was that money from the state, like on behalf of the state, or a personal donation from Mr. Fubara?
He visited him as governor.
Okay.
And as governor, he dips his hand into the money
State
of the
treasury.
That might not be a crime. You have security vote to cover some of these things. And people who are just watching cancel security vote, cancel all that, they don't know what they're talking about because these are some of the things. You go to a governor's place, for instance, you go on a courtesy visit. By traditional Nigerian culture, you expect him to at least give you some transport fare while you are living. He's not going to dip his hand to his pocket. He's going to tap into security vote. If there's any trouble in any place, the same security vote is so flexible because you need to reach to that post to do emergency things and all that. So that's the governor. That gesture was not itself a crime or any misdemeanor. It happens. People approach governments again as part of governments, CSR, community social responsibility. You know, they say, okay, you are government, we are this, we are union, we want to help, government will oblige because government want to sound good to them. So it's perfectly normal. But the abnormality was that if you have collected money on the quiet agreement, they call it gentleman's agreement. In any case, what motive would the governor of Rivers have to dip hands into the pocket of Rivers government and dash NBA 300 naira? All this talk about being unconventional give, they know it's bull. They know it's bull. They know it's crap. They know it doesn't make any sense, and that's the point. The man couldn't have given them 300 naira without the expectation that they are going to hold this thing. Now it's all right for NBA to stick to their policy. That, okay, this is not a democratic government, which nevertheless came to be because of the powers of the democratic civil dispensation. You know, you don't have to go to play to the gallery to understand this. Here is an enforced government for 6 months. But if the government there have been doing what they have to do, by the report by the judgment of the Supreme Court, which heavily indicted the thing. So why is all this and cry coming from? Anyway, that's politics. Now, if you are going to take this thing from Rivers, for God's sake, be able enough to return the money. If you don't want to return the money, they are grandstanding. They are telling NDA, NBA, everybody, the people fall over themselves to support them. They are not that rubbish. For God's sake, there is no way they can spin this one. This one, see that you hold the something there. You don't have to hold the thing in Rivers. If you don't, you are not under any pressure. But for God's sake, do the horrible thing. Return the money. You know, because if you pay 300,000 naira for an event in a state, people are coming to that state. There will be business opportunities by local traders, maybe caterers, maybe souvenir makers, hotels, and all that. There will be a sort of spin-off effect. So that investment could well earn the state more than $1 billion in revenue. Now, if you take the thing, you are taken to another state. It's not fair. Besides, we don't know, have they obtained again from Enugu State? Because that's a valid question. Has Enugu given them money? You know, this thing this discourse came up yesterday, this Moriah show, your view. And there are two lawyers who were defending the indefensible. One was so annoying that she was so childish, you know, one with Alaja something. The other one is a young barrister. All of them did it. So now say, you know, you are giving to them, you know, it was such a childish thing. You cannot spin this one out of, you cannot. But someone now told the Alaja that, look, Nima, when it comes to NBA now, you cannot tell the truth. So now she had the humiliation of reading out that reaction herself. She now said, no, yeah, I've been defending the NBA. I've never been an ND activist. I never attended their district. So that you know, so when something is bad, it's bad. But before you watch roasting the ND, I must tell you, everybody does this in Nigeria. Even our own progression there. There was sometime in 2001, 2002, or thereabout, when the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Smarter DME, later became a senator, they put together a group and they gave themselves the self-enforced mandate to go have a monitoring policies in the state. Now, if you call yourself, you know, if you are supposed to give government in check, monitor their activities, criticize them, make sure they are, you know, doing the right thing, and you make yourself a judge, you go and doing the package thing for you, you know, you now tell them, okay, their performance is excellent. Maybe the people are feeling it's a failure. How do you now tell me that the media itself is credible? In Nigeria, everybody tries to parasite on government. That's what I'm making. So NBA is just the latest example. People have been doing it, and they feel that well, is their birthright to report government anyway. And yes, these are the guys who will be saying that the government is not spending money on what it is spending for. So it's a very critical sociological thing we should address in our politics. You can't eat your cake at the same how to have it. It's not done. So I hope the idea of they've learned from this standard they brought themselves. If they have any honor left in them, they just quietly return the money and tell us if they did obtain another money from Enugu. So we won't full disclosure so that everybody will be surprised again. But to feel that they can just grandstand and tell us all this legal mumbo jumbo, it's not going to work. You are not children.
Well, I also think it was just lack of communication, like lack of explicit or proper communication.
It's just arrogance. They feel that we are the lawyers, we can do and undo, and they feel that you can just they forget that logic is an equal opportunity vocation. If we have education and sound education, you are a player in logic. So you don't have to have a degree in law to 2 + 2 together. So that is 4. That's simply logic. So the fact that you just have wow people with well, there's no document they sign. There was no implicit whatever. They could see all that bull. It's not going to work. So they should go and return the money. Or since if they are spending the money, no doubt they should go and they should go back to Rivers to hold it.
To host it. But don't you think Fubara coming into the picture will put more clarity to these things?
There is no clarity to put. Fubara this is a structural thing. Fubara did not give them money as an individual. He gives them money as governor. And the guy who is administrator now is playing the role of governor.
Yes.
So he has the right to ask. This structural thing. This is logic, common logic. It has nothing to do with personalities of the players. Somebody was there at the first person. He give her money. The same government did not abandon the government of River. Even so there. The guy there now, even temporarily, is saying that okay, you've taken our money by a record, and the government is even selling. According to our report today, that it was an implicit. You might not be looking at implicit agreement that they will hold the general conference. You know, that wasn't the first time. When Wiki was there, they hosted it and they supported them. So it's not anything. When you play to the gallery, and try to be holier than thou, this is where you land yourself in.
According to them, they were not. It was not as if there was any bid for them to host the general conference in the states.
On what basis would the government have given them 200 million naira? We are not talking of
300 million actually a whole lot. 300 million. We are not
talking of 30 million. We are talking about 200 million. Even with a monopoly currency of naira, I see a lot of money. So what business is the NBA doing to the rural government to end that largesse? This guy should be there is a limit to shamelessness. Now they just forget all this annoying argument they are preferring. Doesn't make sense.
Hopefully, just I hope, or let's just all hope that the matter does not have to get to the court, because now the sole administrator is already threatening to take.
I pray it gets to court, because let's try this thing out. You can't say you are a normative organ, normative body. NBA is supposed to see to the norms of society so that things are done properly. Then you are involved in something that could just be corruption, and you are spinning it. It's not going to work. You know, Morayo, and God bless that lady yesterday, he said, my father was the president of NBA. Alawa Kabashonu. Those are during the early days of the military. Somebody through the back door went to invite the Lagos State governor, military governor, Raji Rasaki, to their show. And he couldn't get who invited this guy. Nobody could give a psychiatrist. He checked the list of the invitees. Nobody sent an invite. I said, look, it's not coming to us. So go and withdraw the invite from him. And that was that. He bought the Raji Rasaki from the. It was not reported. That's what the military comment. You know. Now you are now saying that the other two lawyers are saying the NBA are divorced from that one. It's a big occasion now. Everybody it's a big show. I said to me, she told that to her, NBA was a sacred thing to normalize, you know, to right what was wrong. But now if you are saying that just a show to combine everything, I don't know, but that had not changed their mind. And she wanted it because of all the responses, maybe 9 or so, only one supported the field they are trying to push up. Only one, and the other critically was very, you know, very hard on the panelists, the two lawyers, even harsher on the NBA. And here you are still playing to the gallery. What point do you want to prove? That they are wrong, they are right, only them are right, the majority are wrong. Come on, they should just stop this.
I just feel like we have to get to that point in Nigeria where we have to be more ethical and know that, okay, this thing is right, let's just do it naturally without having to go to court or start. I mean,
there are people, they pay their dues. You know, even if the dues were not enough, there are members they could go to solicit. Who can buy when they, I mean, by the card that roll around that organization. How much is 200 million they cannot fund within themselves? And if they are funded the thing, they will have the power to tell anybody. In any case, it was very suspicious when the emergency thing came. NBA was dumb, blind, dumb, and deaf with all the constitutional authorities that Ibas was committed. They didn't say anything. The moment they imposed emergency rule, they said it was unconstitutional. You know, and it didn't strike me as suspicious. We know they are obtaining money, and I just looking for the money. They are there say rule of law, my foot. You go and do the right thing and start standing.
Hopefully, I will hope they do the right thing sooner, but we'll all see how it will play out in coming days. Let's quickly move to Daily Trust. Daily Trust has the headline: How thousands of Nigeria lost 1.3 trillion naira to scam. And the latest one, as of yesterday, this morning, is CBEX. It is actually a Ponzi scheme, and I don't know. Probably let me just first read the lead as Daily Trust has it here. Thousands of Nigerians were thrown into tears yesterday following the realization that the funds they invested in CBEX, a digital assets trading platform, reportedly amounting to 1.3 trillion naira, was nowhere to be found. The digital trading platform, which boasted of giving investors 100% return on investment in 30 days, crashed on Monday after the money in their investors' wallets vanished. At this stage that we are in Nigeria, with the technological advancement, or the technological advancement level that we are in Nigeria, should Nigeria still be falling for all these kind of things?
Well, it depends on which Nigerians are you talking about. You know, this is a generational thing. All this e-tech you are talking about, e-banking and all that. I know some professors today who are very uncomfortable with transferring money. They go with their good old checks. It doesn't mean that they are illiterate or not that. It's just that all this techie thing, you know, the techie stuff, doesn't belong to their generation. And as far as I know, they are not part of the Nigerians you are talking about. Then the demographics, the youths are very restless. Again, it's the same set of youths that belong to the techie generation. So it's only natural that you are going to gravitate towards that. So I just want us to narrow it down, so that you know, as if those people are stupid or anything. They're only reacting to the reality of their generation. In any case, everybody does it. Peers outside, you know, before we started this in US, because that somebody was saying that wanted to put some money and all that. Because peer pressure, this thing is very good. You have a starter. Why don't you put it? It's going to get you 100% and all that. And you know, greed, everybody tries to moderate it. There's like nobody has found the formula, anti-greed formula. It has not be found, and honestly, it will never be found. So you are saying something.
this kind of scheme is not as if this is the first of the kind that Nigeria will be recording.
I said there's no anti-greed formula. The greed belongs to a generation. It will happen in the past. It's crashing, and it's going to happen in the future. So
another scheme will come out now, and Nigeria will still buy into it.
But that is not to say that you cannot protect people from their own greed. And that is where the government comes in. I was reading in the trust that there was this new law that the Sex, Securities and Exchange Commission should regulate all these, you know, these e-schemes. It's just like a bubble. You see it, then you don't see it, then you see it no more. Because there's nothing you can touch. And that's why I want to transfer money. I transferred money to somebody yesterday now. The person did not see it. Now, waited. I went to the bank this morning. In my phone was even saying that the transaction figure, I didn't see it. They showed it to me in the bank. Okay, if it shows, why don't you show me the
reversal?
The reversal. I mean, they claim they have reversed it. They show me that. Should have sent me an alert now.
A certain amount was reversed.
They didn't send me the alert. If they had sent me the alert, I would have wasted my time to the bank. I'm just saying that Turkey is very convenient. No doubt. There's a bubble very fleeting. You feel you are sure, then you feel you are not so sure. So because of that uncertainty, I think psychological uncertainty, and you know, this is do feel, I mean, they do feel maybe you send $1 million, transfer $1 million something, 1 or 2 feel, the figure, the proportion is not, the percentage infinitesimal, it's not really statistically significant. But the thing is, it still happens. So that is why the government must come in and implement the law. So that people are not going to be cured from their greed. So capitalism itself is built on greed. When you say market forces is greedy investors who want to make a kill. Then when they make their kill, they will now do some trickle down to the person, to the masses. They will say, things are getting better. When things get, they go 90%, you only get 10%. That's how it works. And that's why they really get bigger the poor girl. Jimmy Cliff said the big girl teacher and the poor getting poorer. That was Jimmy Cliff. That was the least of 2023. Anyway, that's the US side. So we say this: the government must protect people from this. Because you cannot say people cannot dream big, invest, investment. They would. No law can suppress the human mind to do something novel and new. But every law should be done to take them at least to the decency of the moment and to protect the citizens. I think that's what government should do.
But in as much as I personally would want to call on the government to be more proactive, because even Detroit has the report here that Hong Kong raised a red flag about CBEX. So in as much as I feel the SCC should be more proactive in as regards all these schemes, I also still feel Nigerians should also reduce the level of, just like you mentioned earlier, the level of greed and the level of the way we want to get more. Because I mean, imagine someone promise you are not doing any work for the person is promising you 100% ROI. What is the business that's the question I ask most. I'm like, what are you doing for the person?
But you forget that some people are cashed out on that 100%.
Some people are cashed out on the 100%. But then you like, it was very obvious that okay, this is a bit.
You know, we call something kalu. It was a gaming magic, very popular there. You put some money, some coins, then it has a lever. You put down the lever. Many times, a few times, it will cost out some money for you. But most times, they call it kalu. You know, it's a few people they get, but most people they lose. But the excitement, that is same psychology. Meanwhile, the same will be playing music. All of you will be happy, will be dancing. You know, you are playing kalu. At the end of the day, maybe 5% of the audience will be happy, of the players. 95% they go
sad.
But that doesn't mean they will not come back. It's just human nature. Maybe you can do some campaigns and all that, but I've not seen a society cured of its greed. I'm not sure that will ever be done outside it. So government just put enough stringent laws at least to protect people from their greed. That's
to protect people from their greed. I think I'll buy that. Government should be more proactive and to put more stringent laws to protect people from their greed. And I also hope the organizers of this Ponzi scheme are brought to book as soonest, because I read a report earlier this morning that the EFCC they'll be collaborating with Interpol to bring them to book. I really do hope they are brought to book and justice is being meted out to them, because I mean, a lot of people are already facing one thing or the other. People were really crying. I was seeing videos that people were crying and a lot of things. Some people invested their life savings, some people money. There's even someone that said he almost put the money he wanted to use for his wedding. He wanted to.
Thank God he didn't. The wedding should have been
what will tell his bread? But hopefully the organizers are brought to book and everybody goes back to the monies are retrieved and everybody goes back to normal. But then the government will also put more measures in place, be more proactive to protect people from their greed. That is our lesson for today. Protect people from their greed. It's fine. we agree as a government. They agree that okay, there is greed, but don't worry, we'll come in place, we'll step in and protect you guys from your greed. I think I really like that. And with that, we really have to go. Time is not on our side any longer. We really have to go. Thank you so much, Mr. Abimbola.
Thank you
for having you and for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us on the show today. Until next week when we shall come your way again, I remain Ayooluwa Ayobami. Many thanks and bye for now.